Yes, welcome. Welcome to another part of advertising lesson. You see advertising, yes, it's wide, all right? So let's try as much as we can to touch every necessary area so that whichever way you are asking a question, you'll be able to attend to it. So we have this part 3 for advertisement in commerce. Welcome to the class. I'm sure you're ready as usual. So for this lesson, we will do the following objectives. By the end, you should be able to explain the merits and demerits of advertising in general, define consumer protection in advertising, as well as differentiate between advertising and sales promotion. These are our focus for this lesson for now. So let's go ahead. We'll move straight into what the merits of advertising are, because we'll talk about the mediums or the media, which talks about the radio, TV, and the rest of them. They are good. Their advantages and disadvantages is what we discussed in the last lesson. So let's look at this one now. In general, what are the merits of advertising besides the medias or media of advertising? Number one is advertising in general creates job opportunities. It makes more people to have what to do, even in those who create jingles. There are costumers who sell costumes and those who actually do the job of costuming. Those are different kind of jobs in advertising. Then those who write up the adverts, who are content creators, those are jobs. So advertisement or advertising creates job opportunities for many people in different aspects of the job. Number two is that advertising provides information about products. It gives you up-to-date knowledge or information concerning a product or service. It's an advantage, it's a merit. When you are being informed about the product, it's left to you now to decide whether to buy or not to buy. Number three is that it creates the profits of the seller or manufacturer. So as more sales is being made through the effect of advertising, it increases the profit of the seller or manufacturer. So whichever one is there, advertising helps to increase profits for the seller or manufacturer. That is the merit for advertising. It helps to improve the quality of products. The more a product is advertised, the more the quality is considered to be improved upon. Because if advertisement must sell or must be effective, the product has to be of the required quality or standard. And the advertiser will do all the possible things to improve the product's quality. The next advertisement merit is that it increases production, because if people are responding to adverts, sales is increased, more products are purchased, more need to be produced. So the more sales are made, the more a product needs to be produced. So more products are produced because there's an increase in sales, and that means production should also increase. That is why it's a merit for advertising. It creates awareness about the product. Some products have been in the market for a long time, but most people don't know about it. But through advertising or advertisement, this information is made very more available and far-reaching. And many other people can become aware of it because it's advertised. So advertisement also has a merit for what? Creating awareness about a product. That is for the merit of advertisement or advertising. What are the demerits of advertising? Demerits of advertising include the following. These are not exhaustive actually, but these are the list we can go in meeting this need for this lesson. So number one is that it can be false and misleading. In general terms, yes, those manufacturers or sellers in the interest of making profit, in the bid to make sales, they can say manner of things, show you different false and misleading information just to convince you to buy. And that in itself is a disadvantage for advertising. One of them all is that it can also lead to monopoly. In this case, a very effective advertising by a particular company can make that company to become the only producer or seller of a particular product, whereby it has chased away many competitors because they cannot keep or cope with their antics in advertisement. So if advertising can improve a product to this extent that people start buying only that particular product, the manufacturer or company or seller may begin to assume a monopolistic control of such a product. In that case, competition will lose its effect, and that might make the product become a monopolist product. And that is itself is not good for business or for competition, because consumers will only buy what they give to them to buy and at any price they sell. So it can lead to monopoly, and it's a demerit for advertisement. It can increase the cost of goods. Any product being advertised in itself will increase the cost of production, because the advertising process also includes production. Trying to distribute the goods is part of production. So any cost incurred in making the public know about the product will directly or indirectly be moved into the cost of production, which will cause an increase in cost of production, and in so doing, the prices of the products will also go up, and that also is a demerit for advertising. So increased cost of production will increase prices of the goods in the market. That is not good for consumers. It's a demerit for advertising. It can also cause unnecessary buying. We call it impulse buying. Because of how beautiful a product is advertised, because of how enticing it looks in the advertisement, most people buy not because they need it, because they were convinced that they need a product, not because they actually needed it, but advertisement has made it possible for them to buy because of how it's advertised. So such a case is not good for the people, because advertising can push you to do what you're supposed to do. In that case, it's a demerit. The next one is that it can lead to unhealthy competition among producers. Some producers go neck to neck with each other in trying to undo the other products by saying things that are unhealthy for the other company's activity, just to enhance their sales and make people buy what they sell. So in such a case, we also consider that as a demerit for advertising. It causes unhealthy competition among producers. The next one is that it interferes with consumers' free choice. When competing brands are advertised and well advertised, consumers become confused. They tend not to know what to do anymore. They feel that, oh, if I buy this, I lose out on this. If I buy this, I lose out on this other one. Why can't I just buy the two? They can just end up spending more money by buying the two options or competing brands, whereby they should have just gone with one, and this, in this case, is a demerit for advertising. So, having seen this, we will look at the aspects of the consumer's welfare called consumer protection in advertising. Because of these things we've just mentioned, the merits and demerits of advertising, which can cause a lot of problem for the consumer needs protection. So we look at the consumer protection in advertising. That is the next we want to consider now. Now, what is it? What does it mean to protect the consumer in advertising? Consumer protection in advertising refers to the use of rules and regulations to regulate or guide advertising in various media in order to protect consumers from deceptive and false advertisement. The use of rules and regulation to guide or regulate various media of advertising so that they don't deceive the consumer or disseminate false information through their adverts, because consumers are vulnerable to many adverts. They just easily fall into the trap and they spend their money unnecessarily. So they need some kind of protection. Now, in consumer protection, we have two very important words we must take note of. We have two very important words we must take note of. Number one is called consumerism, and the other one is called caveat emptor. Now, what do these two words mean? Consumerism as a term was created by Sidney A. Reeve, an engineer and an economist. In his book, he titled Modern Economic Tendencies, written in the year 1921, he said, businesses will have to appeal to the interests and desires of consumers to sell their goods. By this statement, it means that you will need to convince the consumer to patronize you by doing exactly what the consumers are expecting you to do in your product. That is what it means. So to summarize it all, I have two captions of what consumerism is, or what they do. Number one is that consumerism is seen as a modern movement for the protection of the consumer against useless, inferior, or dangerous products, misleading adverts, and unfair pricing, etc. All these negatives or tendencies of the producer or seller are being protected or are being worked against or stopped by what? By the government or individuals or bodies formed for that purpose. That is called a modern movement to protect the consumer. Anything that is done to make sure that the consumers are not exploited by useless adverts, inferior goods being advertised, dangerous products being advertised, or giving false information or unfair prices or pricing is called consumer protection, right? Under consumerism. The other one is that the concept of consumerism also considered it to be that an ever-expanding consumption of goods is advantageous for the economy. That's a good part of it, because the increasing consumer spending stimulates production and economic growth. So for the economy to grow, consumers need to be protected, and they also need to be encouraged to buy or spend their money. So yes, consumerism is a very important concept in consumer protection. This was done by Sidney Reeve, an engineer and also an economist. You can see he is well versed in what he's saying. He knows it all. Now, what is caveat emptor? Caveat emptor is a Latin phrase that means let the buyer beware. It's a warning flag or signal given out to every consumer. You are told to seek out information. Be well informed before you buy or spend your money on some products or any product. Be aware of what you're doing, because that means that in many cases or some cases, you are liable to your own decisions. Now, what does it mean? Caveat emptor is a principle in commerce that without any warranty, the buyer takes the risks as to the condition of the property or goods purchased. Meaning that after you have purchased or spent your money on it, you cannot hold the producer or seller liable for any adverse or unhealthy outcome that you encounter. Now, taking this concept or this word into deeper consideration, it means that an individual buys at their own risks. You buy anything without good information about it, you can't go back to fight your seller or the producer. You are supposed to have found out more about it. The second one is that potential buyers are warned by the phrase to do their research and ask pointed questions of the seller before you buy. The next one is that the seller isn't responsible for problems that the buyer encounters with the product after sales. So these are the reasons why they say buyer beware. Let the buyer beware. So before you say you have bought a product and you want to seek for redress or compensation, This caveat emptor is a preemptor. It makes you to be aware of some rights that you have and some responsibilities that you have when buying a product. So take note of it as we consider next. So these are images that encourages you to know that yes, you are protected, but you must do the right thing. Here is one saying, I know my rights. Do you know yours? You should know your rights as a consumer. You have rights as a consumer, understand them and enforce them when need be. All right? So there are legal aspects of business that protect the consumer by forming these trade associations and some group of manufacturers just to make sure that they bring up to date their services to meet the consumer's need. All right, this is another image telling us about consumer protection. Here you have what they do, the Consumer Protection Agency, CROSCPA. So we are here to protect you from what? Look at it. It said, when you don't have value for money, you can seek a redress. When substandard products are sold to you and deceived you to buy it, you can seek what? Redress. When unsatisfactory services are offered to you, you can seek what? Redress. When expired goods are sold to you, you can seek what? Redress. So sales promotion as well, when they are misleading to you, you can also seek redress. So these are many areas whereby you can seek protection from the unfair practices of the producers as well as sellers. Now, what are the ways that you can be protected as a consumer? That's our next subtopic. Now, we look at it from this aspect. Number one is that there is establishment of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria called APCN. They do this so that those who advertise are guided not to overshoot the limits or go below the limits of the rules guiding advertisement. In fact, one of the major rules is that talk about your product, what the benefits are, and don't degrade the product of your competitors. So these are what we did. And then tell the consumers the actual truth about your product. These are the rules. If not, you'll be sanctioned and punished where found guilty. So the APCN are practitioners of advertising that has formed a body to guard against negative tendencies in advertisement. The second one is that there's establishment of professional groups such as this ACPN. They are encouraged to form groups that can give protection to the consumer. Like you have MAN. MAN is called Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. They can actually set standards of production so that consumers are not cheated. So when your product is up to standard and quality, it's because some people have put the peg there that you cannot go below it so that you have quality products for the consumers to consume. They also have what we call consumer education. Consumers are not allowed to be free of information, whereby if you not do that, producers will tap into the gullibility of some consumers and cheat them. Consumers need to be informed or educated before they consume some products. So by that particular act, you are equipped with your rights and responsibilities when you buy a product, so you know what to do at what time and what not to do. The other one is that you have statutory controls by the government, that is government's own part in this whole protection of the consumer. How do we do it? These are legal legislations and statutory laws guiding the practice of advertising, such as, number one, we have what is called Trade Description Act of 1968. This means that you cannot say in any advert what your product cannot do. You tell us that the product can do this and that. It must be the same when the consumers buy it. You say that the product is of this size, it must be the same size. Not when you say it is 100 grams, it's less than 100 grams. It's 1 kg becomes what? Less than 1 kg. So it has to be properly described, and the consumers must buy because they know that when they buy, what you have told them about the product is what they will see and enjoy. The second one is Sales of Goods Act. That in this case, the producer must surrender the product to the consumer when they have made payment for it, not taking money and not supplying the goods. So in such a case too, consumers are protected, because if you are not supplied your product, you can seek for redress. This is just a summary of some of these legislations that are being used to control and protect the consumer's interest. We have Copyright Acts. Yes, without these Copyright Acts, some persons will produce a fake copy or substandard copy of some products, so that you think that you're buying the original one before you know you are buying out fake products. So this also goes about to protect the consumer from knowing who exactly produces a particular product, without which it will be a problem. So the next one is an Obscene Publication Act of 1967. This also protects the consumer from unguarded advertisements, which may not really allow the consumer the freedom to really watch. Some things are not very good for the eye. Some images are very defective for the eye. Some of them are very frightening, and some of them are just immoral. So now all these things are being put in place to make sure that whatever is aired to the consumer is within the limits of advertisement rules. These are the ways that consumers are protected from the unfair and sharp practices of producers and sellers of products. The next one is what? Indecent Advertisement Act. This protects the views of minors and even some adults who don't want to see some kind of advertisement that are not proper for the view. So it keeps away nudity and some other extreme advertisement used to elicit purchase from the consumers. So all these, and the other one is advertisement as we actually discussed earlier on. These are the ways by which consumers are protected, either by the government or by professional bodies who have formed one body or the other to make sure that consumers have value for money and enjoy what they buy. Also, there's an establishment of codes of advertisement practice. These are codes of conduct which media houses and individual advertisers must allow or adhere to. Because you have an adverts company, you think you can do it anywhere. No, there's a rule that a code that you must adhere to, which include public decency. You must put into consideration public decency when you air an advert, when you produce an advert jingle. You must not overshoot the board. You must consider both the old and the young, the toddlers and whatever, who may look at such information that you're being given out, so that it doesn't cause a problem in the future. So you also consider what public decency when you advertise or produce advertisement information. The other one is called exploitation of superstition. Some persons just want to believe things because they are said. All right. Some people already have a premonition of some things, that this is how this should be if it goes this way. So when advertisers realize that people believe in these things, they exploit those beliefs by advertising the product to suit such belief, whereby actually the resource of it is not supposed to be. So those codes kick against such exploitation. Don't do things because don't say things because people believe or have this kind of acceptance of some outcomes. So you don't use it for advert, and then at the end of it all is a lie, or it causes problem for the consumer. So it's a code, or what we call advertising practice code. So it's a way of protecting the consumer too. So these media houses and advertisers are made to understand that these codes must not be maybe played down on. The next one we have here is the misleading description and claims. Of course, I've already mentioned this one earlier on. When these things are said in advertisement, that when you use one sachet of Ariel, you can wash 100 clothes with it and everything become clean. That's a false description and claim. Anybody who advertises that way will have problem with the Consumer Protection Act. So these are the things we'll talk about when we say consumers are protected. So these are ways by which consumers can be protected. There are as many as we have listed out here. So please take note of it as a consumer. Know your rights and know your obligations, and enforce them when the need arises. Now the next option we're going to look at here, the next topic we're looking at here is what we call sales promotion. Remember we said we're going to look at sales promotion and then consider it in difference between sales as well. So what is sales promotion? It's defined as any activity that is used to stimulate sales of a product. Any activity used to stimulate sales of a product. It's a conscious effort or activity designed to induce and encourage brand loyalty and patronage. Sales promotions are regular for products that are already in the market and maybe not doing well, or they just want to reject the sales and make it increase. They can use sales promotion. All right. Some of them are this. They say you can buy 10 for the price of 8. All right. That's an example of what sales promotion. They can also give out free samples just to entice you to make you buy. They say buy 2 and get 1 free. All right. Buy 1 and get 50% off. All these things are what examples of sales promotion. Some discounts, they say bulk discounts. When you buy in Christmas period, you have 30% discount or that amount of discount for you. Or they give you promo discounts. Those are what types of sales promotion. Now, what is the difference between advertising and sales promotion? We want to know so that as we move ahead, you can be able to differentiate them quietly or normally. Now, although sales promotion is synonymous with advertising, it differs from advertising in the following ways. Number one, it lasts for a shorter period of time than advertising. Sales promotion can happen in just 2 days or 1 day or during the course of a trade fair. That ends. So it happens for a shorter period than what advertisement. Advertisement can go as long as 1 month, 1 whole year. All right, but sales promotion is very short. They have similarities, but it's shorter in terms of length of time covered. Number 2 is that it's more expensive. Sales promotion is more expensive because you give out free samples. That means money is lost, even though you are also trying to advertise and pay for advertisement through that. And then you go employing vehicles or paying for rented vehicles and personnel that will go about to exhibit and dance and sing about the product on the roadside. That also is extra cost and more expensive advertising than normal advertisement that you can place in newspaper or radio house and the rest of them. So it's considered to be more expensive than advertising. Number 3 is that it is mainly used to introduce new products or for product demonstration. Yes, sales promotion is used to introduce new products to show you that, yeah, this is our new product and this is how it's used, this is what it can do for you. And that means after that is done, it's over. But this normal advertisement can keep going on from time to time continuously as against that of sales promotion. The next one we have here, it is also used to boost sales of product. Like I said earlier on, even an existing product that is not doing very well, you can actually use sales promotion to showcase the importance of that product to the onlookers and the public. That will help improve or enhance more sales instantly. So what are the methods of sales promotion that we know, or forms of sales? Number 1 is we can do sales promotion by distribution of free samples, giving out some samples of a product free of charge to consumers to see and taste what the product is all about. The next one is that there's what special price discount. Like I said earlier on, buy 3 for the price of 2, buy 1 and get 50% discount for the next one. These are what free samples, or they can give you a special price discount. Like I said, you also have coupons. The use of coupons is another way of sales promotion. This is a discount or a document or paper printed on a packet of a product, which gives the holder the right to win or receive something. Like Coca-Cola is doing, they can say, okay, open the cap of your Coke, open it, you can see you win an extra bottle, or you win some cash prizes, or you win some documents. All right, that also is a way of promoting sales. So I said trade fairs and exhibitions are where you have more sales promotion activities taking place, where companies show practically how to use their products, how the machines work, how the products are used. So that's what happens to trade fair. The next thing we have here is competitions. Example, we have lotteries, raffle draws, quiz, etc., after which prizes are given to the winners. You see this happen on television, all right? The program Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is one of the ways we call trade sales promotion. What do they advertise there? It's the use of MTN as a network. There are other people who have taken also that they go on TV to do some game shows of some products. Such a program is a good example of what sales promotion, using competition as well. When you earn prizes for winning the quiz or the raffle draws or the competition that you have engaged into. So such a case for a particular product is called sales promotion, using what? Competition. Now, just to end this discussion, we just want to understand that of recent there are improvements in advertising, which we can call modern trends in advertising. Modern trends in advertising. What is it? For a long time now, it has gone through various developmental stages, which is advertising over the years. In addition to the modern electronic and press media discussed earlier, we have digital billboards, which are now used in advertising goods and services, which provide, some of them provide audiovisual information, and they are mounted at strategic places or around the cities. These are the modern trends. Everywhere you go now, you want to see, some people have a miniature size of it. They can put it in front of their offices. You see they display what they sell. They tell you welcome. They say we have this and that. Those are miniature billboards, electronic billboards. They have reduced it to what? To smaller units. So it's a modern trend in advertising now. You don't need to ask what the people do. Just when you get there in front of the stores, those who have the money, they'll just put a electronic billboard. It will keep giving you the service they render. And some of them, they have prices as well. They show you the image of their products, show you what they do. You just retreat and you go in and get your service done, and that's it. So these are modern activities in advertising that we have today. Beyond the printed media, audiovisual is there. So in summary, we have discussed the merits and demerits of advertising. We have discussed consumer protection to some big advanced details. And then we have also discussed sales promotion versus what? Advertising. These are differences as well. Thank you for your listening time. I'm sure that you've learned a lot as well. So we'll have one or two questions we're going to attach to this topic discussed right now. So let's see one or two before we end it, so that you can actually be sure that you've learned something from here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see this one. Say, which of the following is the main task of the marketing manager whose company has adopted the marketing concept? Well, it's indirect, but it affects what we just discussed. Now, what is the job of the marketing manager who has just been employed, or who has been given the task to do this? He is to do what? He is to identify and satisfy consumers' need. In this case, we're talking about consumerism, where the interest of the consumer is uppermost in the policy of production. So you look at what the consumer wants and put it in the product before you produce. So that's what this question is trying to elicit from your understanding. Yes, activities undertaken to create awareness of a product by giving out samples or gifts is called what? That's the last thing we discussed just now. So it's called what? Sales promotion. You can see. Yes, we'll have that. Let's see if there's one more we can take before we end it. Okay, just to emphasize this. Regarding the consumer as the king who must be satisfied is the main emphasis of what? I already told you the answer before, consumerism. Okay, so I think with this, we can call it a day for this lesson. God bless you for your listening time. Thank you. Give your feedback where necessary. We expect it. Thank you.